everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we are here for another video book review. Woohoo! All right, now this one should actually be really short because we are talking about, starting out this time, right? We are talking about the book Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I have no idea if my French is correct or not. I only married into the French family and apparently none of the pronunciation actually rubbed off on me. So I apologize to the people of France for slaughtering their language. Okay, anyway, so Carmilla, this book was actually suggested to me by my friend Adam, who we have met before. He helped us with the manga versus regular graphic novel video and also the DC versus Marvel video. So thank you very much, Adam, for this great suggestion. Honestly, I'm not even, he can totally correct me later because he probably will anyway, but he was over here for a Carolina Panthers football game. Somehow, I don't know how we started talking about this, but I made the comment that I have not actually read Dracula by Bram Stoker. I have tried over and over and over again. I've ended up having to DNF it just because I don't know. Every time I try and read it, I can't even get past like the first 2 chapters. And sometimes like after the first chapter, I don't know. I just never actually read it. I have no idea what it is. But he then jumped in and said, well, have you ever read Carmilla? And I was like, Carmilla? What's that? He's like, yeah, it was actually written before Dracula. And apparently it is one of the more original vampire stories. And I looked it up. I believe it was written about 26 years before Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. And what I found really fascinating was that actually Carmilla is known as the original lesbian vampire, which I found kind of interesting because I was like, okay, all right, all right, why not? We all know that vampires are incredibly sexual beings, whether they're the traditional kind, whether they're the sparkly Twilight kind. I mean, not that I've ever read Twilight, it's on my shelf, I just haven't read it yet. Anyways, so I was like, okay, well, why not read it and take a look? If I can't read Dracula, I'll go ahead and try reading Carmilla and see how it goes. It did not take me long at all. It's actually an incredibly easy book to get through. It's short. I mean, look at that. I think it's at literally 100 pages. So I sat down, I started reading it, and it was really easy to understand. It was really easy to get into. I actually found myself at some points wondering when exactly this book was written because some of the language used was very modern sounding. Like there was one point where I swear someone said, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, what? Okay, so I don't know. That could have just been me. You guys know me and I find weird stuff in books. I don't know. But I was like, okay, all right, there's something is up. Something is up. Oh, guys, did you notice that my eye bags are like super huge today? That's awful. I'm so sorry. Okay. That was really off topic. I'm so sorry. That was really off topic. So I'm going to like do this so you can't see my eye bags there. That looks better, right? Here, you'd think I would have fixed myself before I started the video, but I don't know. Anyways, rabbit trail that took us in a weird direction. I am so sorry. So, Carmilla, again, it was just really easy to understand. It was really easy to get into. It wasn't like this huge drawn out, epic quest to find the vampire or anything like that. It's simple as there's a father and daughter who live in some area of Germany. I'm not entirely sure the exact geography, so I apologize for not knowing my European geography all that well. But a carriage wrecks outside of their Schloss, their castle, if you will. And this mother insists that she has to leave her daughter with them because She has to rush off to go to wherever it is she has to go to, and her daughter was injured in the crash, or at least appeared to have been injured in this carriage crash. So can you please let my daughter stay with you? Of course we can. Great. And then all of a sudden, all of these strange things start happening. Now, it's a very traditional, I mean, honestly, if you think of Dracula by Bram Stoker as being a traditional vampire story, from what I've heard, again, I have not read it, I'm sorry, I know the gist of the story, I just haven't read the story itself. But if you consider that to be a traditional vampire story, then Carmilla is also incredibly traditional. It's simple. You kind of get all these same things. There's not a whole lot of like explicit action that happens. A lot of it is implied, you know, but again, it's very simple. One thing, and I mean, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, considering the fact that, you know, that I love Dracula, I love vampires. If you haven't read The Historian yet, you need to go read it because it's brilliant. And so looking at it from a different way, I was like, okay, because I mean, we have so many different ways of looking at vampires in today's world. You know, you've got the All Souls trilogy, you've got Twilight, you've got The Historian, you've got Dracula, you know, Kirsten White came out with that, and Now I Darken series, which I will admit I did not finish. However, that is also another, you know, historical look at Dracula. And so there's so many different ways of looking at it, you know, and you look at all of them, and what seems to be a recurring theme is this idea that vampires are incredibly sensual beings. They're all about their senses. You know, they've got better sight, better hearing. You know, they are very, you know, sexual beings. You know, anything that kind of appeals to the senses, that's the way the vampires are. And Carmilla actually holds true to that. However, I will say I was a little dissatisfied with what word am I looking for? The title, The Lesbian Vampire. It's not actually the official title. I mean, you just go look it up, and that's, you know, something that has become associated with the book. The book is simply called Carmilla. But I was just really, it doesn't work for me because it puts her in this little box. And she's not like that. You know, there are certain, I mean, like I said, if you work under the assumption that vampires are incredibly sexual, there is that implication to it while you're reading this book. However, I will also say that it also isn't the centerpiece of the story, because you end up finding out later that, you know, when they go back and look at Carmilla's history, you know, someone who randomly shows up in the story is a man who claims to have at one time been her lover, and he was the one who ended up kind of sort of perpetuating this curse, but yet kind of sort of trying to fix it, but yet ends up kind of sort of saving the day a little later. And so it just, you know, like I said, it just kind of put her in this little box where once I heard that, I mean, my reading was very colored towards that, and I was waiting for it to, like, you know, come out as, oh my gosh, the lesbian vampire, but it never did. You know, it was all very broad, you know? So quit putting her in a little box, because it's not fair and it's not right. Got it? All right. But I really, really did enjoy this book. It was nice. It was short. It was simple. It was easy. It was very traditional. And so there you go. I believe I gave it 5 stars because I didn't really have anything. I didn't honestly have any criticisms because, I mean, the title, you know, The Lesbian Vampire, I don't believe that Fanu was the one to have actually labeled it that. So I wasn't going to dock him for something that probably wasn't his fault. So anyway, Carmilla was actually really good. If you like traditional vampire stories, you will enjoy this one, and I absolutely recommend it. Honestly, I'd even say that teens would probably enjoy this if they want to get a good look into Gothic literature. This is actually a really good example. It's short, it's simple, and easy to understand. So, I mean, honestly, there isn't really anyone that I wouldn't suggest this to. I mean, teens, adults, it's a great story, very interesting, and I liked it a lot. There you go. Let me know if you have read Carmilla. I would love to hear your opinions and thoughts about it. Let me know what your favorite vampire story is. and hopefully we can discuss it. Yay, because that's what we do and we love it. Okay, all right, everybody. We'll see you next time for the next book review. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.